Alright, what's going on, guys? Just wanted to take a moment and share some information with you here. Today I installed a set of Duraflap mud flaps on the truck. And for those of you who have a 2019, there aren't a lot of photos out yet on a 2019 and the fit and everything. So I kind of wanted to take a moment, talk about those, and just share my initial thoughts with you on the Duraflap mud flaps. So first thing is, when you order a set of these mud flaps, they ask you if you have this plastic trim piece and also if you have factory fender flares. This is a bighorn model, so it doesn't have the factory flares. So they tell you there's going to be a gap, and you can see the gap there. They suggest that you remove this entire black trim piece. So I got the flap out and I kind of mocked it up, and I wanted to see what the gap was like. So you can see there is a gap there. That's not anything that's going to concern me. I would rather not lose this entire trim piece here because it kind of flows with the back bumper, and this whole thing is one piece. So if you take this off, all this comes off also. One thing I can say is the installation was easy. They're dirty, so I got to actually use them today. So there's a screw here, screw here, screw here. Those are all existing. And so I just reused the factory screws. Those are an 8mm screw that goes into the truck, and then there is a screw back here that you have to add. That's extra, and there's just like a metal clip on that holds it to the other side of the wheel well liner. So that is what they look like from the back, and as you can see, they provide plenty of coverage over the wheels, and then they stick out just a little bit past the fenders. The only thing I was really kind of disappointed with is if you see here, there's a little bit of adhesive. So what happened is that this comes with cover, a plastic film cover over it. So when I pulled it off, then there was a sticker right here that said genuine Duraflap. And when I removed it, there was adhesive on there. And so now I'm going to have to get Goo Gone to get it off, and it's on every one of the mud flaps, so I'm going to have to do it 4 different times. So I emailed Duraflap and just said, hey, some feedback on that. It'd be great if you didn't put that sticker on there. They said, oh, well, you just use a little Goo Gone and you can get it off. I said, well, yeah, but it'd be nice to not have to use Goo Gone, period. So as you can see, it was on that one. On the front, also right there on the same spot. So once I get this thing cleaned up, I'll have to get some Goo Gone on there. A little bit trickier to install the front flaps, and here's why. There's actually a piece that goes from here up to about here, and you almost kind of have to turn the mud flap sideways and then wedge it up in there, but it does really well because it holds it in place. 3 screws, 1, 2, and then the third one's here. And then there's another returning clip. I didn't like how long that screw was. I could have stood for it to be a little bit shorter. I don't think it's going to hit anything. It just kind of catches your eye a little bit. But they also stick out and provide pretty good coverage for the stock wheel. The only thing I was kind of surprised that I just drove home in a rainstorm, and as you can see, I have debris that got on the truck. And so, I mean, I know that's not, 100%, so it probably blocked a lot of it, but I was a little surprised to see that, but definitely is going to do better. I'd already started to get rock chips along here and tar from road work and things like that. That didn't happen today. But that is what made me buy mud flaps. With the fenders being so wide, the front tires were just throwing rocks and everything else up on here, and I've gotten several little paint chips in here that I'm going to have to touch up. So that's kind of what pushed me to the mud flaps. Also, towing a camper, the ones on the rear will definitely help out about not throwing rocks up on the rear. But I like the way the flaps turned out. I went back and forth a little bit on whether I was going to get a powder coated weight on the bottom. I ended up going with the chrome or the stainless steel instead, because it kind of matches the hitch, and it also matches the wheels, the emblem, and things like that. So I kind of like the look of the stainless steel. Install time, it took me about 1 hour and 15 minutes, and that was not knowing how to install it at all. I had to read the instructions and all that. So about an hour and 15 minutes. It's not hard at all. They do offer a discount if you're a Cummins Forum member. The code is Cummins Forum. So overall, these are the longest that they make, and so wanted to share the video because I was kind of curious about whether I should get the shorter ones or the longer ones. These are both the long versions, and so they provide some pretty good coverage. I was really concerned about the front hanging down too low, but for me that's okay, and like I said, I wanted to provide the maximum amount of protection that I could, so these are the long ones. I'll put the a link with the actual product number and part number in the description, so if you guys are interested, you'll know what these actually look like. I didn't have a lot to go on, so I just kind of went out on a limb, and I think I made the right choice. I'm going to be happy with them. So hope this helps. If you're interested in a set of Duraflaps, if you guys have any questions, just put them in the comments.